The book I'm talking about today is considered one of the most disturbing American novels. It is American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis with a page count of 399 as psychological horror with some dark comedy sprinkled in. The book American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis is about a man named Patrick Bateman who works at Pierce & Pierce, a fictional Wall Street company. Patrick Bateman struggles with violent urges throughout the book. The book starts with the protagonist telling us about his morning routines. He seems very vain from first glance and self-obsessive. He then goes to his job and talks to his secretary, Jean. After work, he goes to a restaurant with some of his work friends. They talk about business endeavors and who's handling the fishing account at their workplace. Paul Allen. Patrick dislikes Paul Allen. They order from this expensive restaurant. After they finish their food and leave, Patrick and one of his friends go to a fancy nightclub. While at this nightclub, his friend purchases illegal substances. Patrick and his acquaintance partake in this illegal substance in the bathroom of the nightclub, only to find out it is of low quality, and they say it is coffee sweetener. After a few days of mundane work, he's at a high-end bar and grill restaurant with a man named Paul Allen and his friend. During this get-together, Paul Allen mistakes Patrick for a different man at their workplace several times, and that begins to annoy Patrick. After a few days after this dinner, Patrick invites Paul Allen for dinner under the ruse of being who Paul mistook him for. While at this restaurant, Paul gets intoxicated and Patrick invites him over to his house. While at his house, Paul Allen sits on Patrick's couch and babbles aimlessly about mundane things for 6 or 7 minutes. Patrick begins to prepare. Patrick starts by putting on a record of Huey Louie and the news while he talks about the band's history to distract Paul. While he talks animatedly about the band, he puts on a raincoat and grabs an axe. He then goes to where Paul sat and waits for him to notice him. While Paul noticed him and asks why Patrick was wearing a raincoat, Patrick raises the axe and hits him in the head, killing Paul gruesomely. To hide the body of Paul, Patrick tells himself if anybody asks, Paul is on vacation. The morning after Patrick murders Paul, The morning after Patrick murders Paul, he goes to the dry cleaners and argues with the woman manning the shop. He gets fed up with her when she says he can't wash the cranberry juice out of his expensive sheets. A few days after, Patrick is out drinking with friends at a bar. While at the bar, he goes to the bathroom, running into a colleague who he doesn't like, Lewis Carthers, who quite likes him. After seeing him, Lewis says hi, which Patrick finds annoying. Patrick then decides to try and strangle Lewis, which Lewis takes as Patrick trying to kiss him, so Lewis kisses him. Patrick is disgusted by this and pushes him away. Patrick then leaves the bathroom. Soon after, Patrick picks a woman off the street. He offers her money for her services and she goes home with him. While the woman is there, Patrick bathes her and calls a company who will send another woman over. After Patrick and the woman sleep together, he then murders the 2 women and hides their bodies in the closet. A few days after, Patrick happens upon a homeless man and his dog. Patrick takes the homeless man and offers to refer him to his higher-ups, which the homeless man thanks him profusely and tries to shake his hand. When the homeless man touches Patrick, he calls him disgusting and stabs him. This doesn't kill him, though. The homeless man's dog begins to bark at Patrick, so he kills it and then shoots the man. After 6 or 7 normal days, he is having an episode and calls his lawyer confessing all the murders he's committed. The next day, he sees his lawyer at an office party and he approaches asking if the lawyer got Patrick's message. The lawyer then laughs and says it was hilarious, calling Patrick the same name Paul Allen called him. Saying it would have been believable if he didn't pick that wimp Patrick. Patrick then laughs it off and walks away, realizing he didn't actually kill anyone at all. It is all in his head. The book ends with, "This is not an exit." This line shows how far Patrick truly has gone. I think college is the correct grade level to read this book because of the overall dark themes and the overall slowness and maturity of the book. I'd recommend this book to my friend Danielle because it is her reading level and she'd like the story. Why is this an important book for people to read? I think this book is important for people to read so they can realize the full extent of how looks can be deceiving and the psychology of people that are psychopaths. The theme of this book, and how do you know? The theme of this book is looks can be deceiving because Patrick Bateman comes off as a charming businessman and turns out to have murder of his thoughts. Compared to the best books I've read, this falls pretty high on my list and might be my new favorite book. The book American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis is about a man named Patrick Bacon who works at... Patrick Bacon?